The first one is a real photo paper moon. Do not pass these up. If they're originals, real photos, any studio prop does well. Welcome to SM Postcards. Today, Sal wants to introduce the video. This is my pet parrot. We've had him about 35 years. He's a ringnut parrot. You can see the ring on his neck right around the side here. And then, but he got his new feathers in this year. He's starting to molt a little bit. You can see it on his head and on his back. But he's got some new tail feathers and no pinching. But he's pretty tame. He gets around. But Sal wanted to tell you that we have what sold. Yeah, let me talk. We have what sold today. What sold on eBay. We sold 12 cards. Then we're going to do Coney Island postcards. What do you think about those? Think those would be okay? We're going to do a deep dive on Coney Island. And then, are you a top-rated seller? Sal's top-rated. Yeah. We'll get into that too. And then viewer comments. People talk about different things. I just pull them out of YouTube and email and stuff. But he thought he would get on here and like to do a video with us. But he's a pretty good boy. Eats a lot. He has a cage upstairs and one in my office. Goes back and forth and stuff. He likes to talk. He doesn't talk. He kind of whispers a little bit, but he likes to balk like a chicken like he's doing right now. But that's Sal. When I talk about Sal, he's always right next to me when I'm in the office. Do something with those feathers, will you? So I figured he had to do a little bit of work. But when he molts, the feathers come out in like little tubes. And then he'll break them open and the feathers come out. And he's been molting. Since he's gotten older, it's taken a little bit longer. And he'll get his back, his tail, and now he's starting to get on his face. But when he's all done, he looks really green and bright. And then I'll give him a bath every once in a while with a spray bottle. And that opens those up and stuff. But when he goes molting, he usually sleeps a lot, eats a lot, and stuff like that. But he's been a good pet all these years. And he just sits right over here, pretty quiet. He gets mad when I come downstairs and he's not with me. So, but that's Sal. I'm going to get started on what cards I sold on eBay overnight. Basically, 12 cards. I want to do 16 cards a year is my goal. I'm about 12 or 13 for the year. Staying around there. Sales have just been up and down. It's been a rough year. But I'm meeting my goals because I always stay below. If I say 16, I always drop a little lower to make sure I can budget everything correctly. But the first card sold, this is Sand Dunes. Sand Dunes. I think it goes this way, just like an artist drawing on that yellowish looking paper. $4.75. Next one has got glitter on it. Tinseling, it's got glitter around there. Now you don't want to put these through the scanner because some of that glitter can scratch that. But once in a while, I'll have one go through. I haven't had a problem yet, but some of this stuff isn't good for scanners. But this has got that tinseling, that glitter on there. And I usually put that as a feature in item specifics. I don't put it in title. It doesn't do that much for pricing, I found. But this is the 4th Street building. 1905 it was posted. Where was this at? Portland, Oregon. And it's an undivided back. There's no line. And it's posted. $4.75. Next one, this is a neat little retro thing. It's a Hershey, Pennsylvania, Chocolate Town, USA. Probably a 50s card. It's got that retro furniture there. Look pretty neat. It's a chrome card. And that sold for $4.75. Next one is just a building. Old Line Bankers Life building. Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska is one I always try to pick up because I don't have a lot of Nebraskas. Posted in 1916. Divided back. $4.75. Next one is Crowder Hall, University of Missouri, Columbia. And this is a linen card of the hall. Posted in 1947. $4.75. Sold the naval ship USS Von Steuben, ID 3017. Semi-cloth front, matte back, light cardstock, $4.75. Usually I price up towers. I didn't price this one up. Sold for $4.75, but I like towers. I just think they're cool oil derricks and stuff. Eagle Tower Peninsula State Park, Deer County, Wisconsin. Chrome card, $4.75. Next one, this is a Raphael Tuck card, and this is an oilette. Oilette is a printing way that Tuck trademarked or copyrighted, where they wanted to do portraits and they wanted to show on the postcard the brush strokes of a painting or make it look like a painting. That's why they call them oilettes. This is called the Men of Letters series. Got a bunch of these. This is Byron. He sold for $6.65. Now I got to get extra for these because I paid shipping when I bought these at an auction online. This one is just a Jeremy Ladd cross. It's a portrait. It's a chrome card. That's not a real it's a signature, but it's a printed signature and stuff. So it's just a chrome card. I didn't do much with it. $4.75. Next one sold for $5.75. This is the Erie Canal Aqueduct over Genesis River, Rochester, New York. It's got a nice curve to it around there, nice view. The divided back card, unposted, and that sold for $5.75. Next one sold for $4.75. It looks like just a waterfall. Natural Dam, Arkansas. That's a natural dam postcard. So I guess there's fake dams and natural dams. So dam postcard sold for $4.75. And this next one is Ed's Come and Browse Around. It looks like a store. They sell a bunch of stuff. It's Indiana's largest souvenir store in Bedford, Indiana. Ed's Come in and Browse Around. Just a little store. Chrome card, $4.75. So total altogether, sold 12 postcards. Want to do 16. Did 12, missed by 4. Want to do $80 a day. I did $64.89. So I missed it by $15, my goal. And I want to raise my ASP. It's kind of went down just a little bit, but it's staying flat this year, last year. 541. So if you take 64.89 divided by 12, you get 541. That's how I kind of gauge the days. But by the end of the month, everything usually averages out where I'm close to my goal and stuff. For the year, I would say 12, 13, 14 cards around there, bounces around. I don't think I'll hit my 16 unless I have some really great months going, next couple months going into the end of the year. I am definitely over $80 a day. I've sold some good cards, had some real good days. So my average for the year, I'm definitely over $80 a day. And what that gives you about $25,000 a year, around there, if you do $80 a day, and it puts about $1,000, $1,200 in my pocket a month is what I'm looking for. I've been putting more than that in there because I'm doing more than $80 a day. I want to raise my ASP because I don't sell a lot of the other hard goods anymore. But I'm not going to be ever at the $12, $15, $20, $30 average sale price. I'm going to be between $5 and $8. So I'd like to get it up to about $6. So I've been very specific about what postcards I buy. But I have a lot of $4 to $6 cards in my boxes. So I'll always stay around there, and that's where I work. I like it. It's not a lot of research. Get them out there, people buy them, they like them. Not a lot of returns. Not a lot of stress. So that's how I do my goals. And I'll probably keep the same goals for next year because I think it's going to be a good year next year. It's got to be. It's got to be better than this year. But that's what's sold. Coney Island, Luna Park. I'm not an East Coast guy. I live in Illinois. I'm in the Midwest. Did a lot of work in the East Coast. A lot. Up and down the whole coastline. I used to fly out for 4 years. I would work 5 days in my office here and fly out to Philadelphia is where I worked. And had a team out there, and I worked there 4 days. Fly home Friday, 5. Did that for years. And I like being home. And I like the Midwest. The East Coast scene, it's a nice, people are always nice out there and stuff like that. It just seems fast. Just a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on the East Coast. And we went back and visited and stuff, but I want to go west, more open space. But Coney Island, New York, Brooklyn, New York. I've been to New York a couple times doing some work. I am never going to drive there, I'll tell you that, in that city. Now in the state of New York, I drove around and did work. But when they sent me downtown, put me on mass transit with the parts and stuff. But Coney Island, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the stuff. History about Coney Island. I got 3 facts about Coney Island, and I think it'll help with how I pared it down to give you an idea, if you're not aware like me, a lot about Coney Island. And then Carrie, a viewer, longtime viewer, sent some stuff. We were going back and forth a little bit, so I picked out 3 things that she sent about Coney Island and some of the research she did. I guess she went down the rabbit hole. She was really digging into it. But up front, thanks, Carrie. We'll get to that after I do this, and then we'll get into sell-through rate and pricing of these cards. And we'll just see what... And while I talk about this, I'm going to show you some postcards I found out there about Coney Island. Here we go. Coney Island, located in Brooklyn, New York. Those are different districts, I think. Brooklyn, the Bronx of New York and stuff. Has a fascinating history that spans over a century. In the early 1800s, it was a quiet seaside resort where wealthy New Yorkers built summer homes to escape the city's heat. By the late 19th century, Coney Island transformed into a bustling amusement destination thanks to the construction of several large amusement parks like Steeplechase Park, Luna Park, Dreamland. These parks featured exciting rides, colorful attractions, and spectacular shows, drawing millions of visitors each year. The early 1900s were the golden age of Coney Island. It was during this time that iconic rides like the Wonder Wheel and the Cyclone roller coaster were built. The boardwalk, completed in 1923, became a popular spot for strolling, sunbathing, and enjoying the ocean views. Coney Island also became famous for its hot dogs, particularly the Nathan's Famous, which started at a small stand in 1916 and grew into a beloved American institution. Over the years, Coney Island faced challenges, including fires, economic downturns, and competition from other entertainment venues. Despite these obstacles, it has remained a beloved part of New York City's cultural landscape. In recent years, efforts have been made to revitalize the area, bringing new attractions, restoring historic rides, and ensuring that Coney Island continues to be a magical place for generations to come. Coney Island Postcards captured the nostalgic charm and vibrant energy of the iconic New York destination. These postcards often featured colorful images of amusement park rides, like the Wonder Wheel, the Cyclone, the Boardwalk, and the lively beach filled with sunbathers and swimmers. They also highlighted historic landmarks, neon signs, and mouth-watering Nathan's Famous hot dog stands. Collecting or sending these postcards allows people to share a piece of Coney Island fun and excitement, preserving the memories of summer days and thrilling adventures by the sea. More to Coney Island than I thought. Been around a long time. Now I got 3 facts here about Coney Island. First one is sea monster statue. In the early 1900s, Coney Island had a giant sea monster statue called the Dragon, which spouted water and roared. It was part of the Dreamland amusement park, but was so lifelike that it spooked many visitors, making it memorable, if eerie, attraction. Then the mysterious tunnel. There's a hidden tunnel beneath Coney Island that was built for transporting people and goods secretly. Legend has it that it was built and used during the Prohibition for smuggling alcohol, adding a layer of intrigue to its already colorful history. Sounds like Chicago with its gangsters. And the last fact, moon landings. In the 1930s, Coney Island had a futuristic attraction called the Luna Park Moon Rocket, where visitors could experience a simulated moon landing. This quirky exhibit was ahead of its time, offering a glimpse of space travel long before it became reality. So that's a little bit about Coney Island and some facts. There's a lot of history in these places, and postcards capture a lot of it and stuff, but I think they should move better. But we'll get into that. You know, I have a gut feeling about things, and Coney Island wasn't one that I thought it would be really great, but is it? Now, one of the longtime viewers here, Carrie, we corresponded in email back and forth. She was doing some stuff with Coney Island, and we went back and forth, and I picked out 3 things, Carrie. The first one, she found a book that she was reading on. It's Miracle at Coney Island. I think it's about $5 for an audiobook, $3 to $5 on Amazon. But it was about this guy that did stuff with preemie babies. Now, he didn't charge the parents for them, is what this says here, paraphrasing it. He would put it at Coney Island, and the people coming to Coney Island and view this would pay to see them. And that's how he got paid. And he had like an 85% morality rate and stuff. So he was ahead of his time in a lot of this stuff. So it's a neat little book out there on there if you want to learn more about more than just amusement rides, like Carrie said. And then she also sent some pictures of some Coney Island postcards that she has. Here's 6 of them. You got like the main street, you got the beach, you got one of those rides, the aerial shot, the boardwalk, and then you got a water ride in those. And I've seen cards like this, and you think they would do more, but do they? Here's like the boardwalk, the beach, aerial view. This is a different with the water and the landscape. There's one of the coasters, and then there's a night view. So you're going to see a lot of postcards about Coney Island. A lot of them are early 1900s, around that era, in the divided back era. There's just a ton of them. I think they had maybe a postcard printing place there or something. Also, Carrie, we went back and forth. She sent me a book. It's not about Coney Island. I did a video about hot air balloons on postcards, and she found a book. It's made by Remax from 1989, and it showed up in my P.O. box, and she told me she sent it. Me and my wife were out there in Albuquerque when they did the big balloon fest one year, and we've been thumbing through that book, Carrie. And in the show and tell, I'll show everybody the big hardcover book she sent. I appreciate it. But if anybody wants to send anything, in the video description below is my address, the P.O. Box 198. You'll see it down in the bottom. I'll below the email address as well in the video description. There's a lot of other stuff in that video description that has different links to things and stuff. So you always want to check that out on YouTube channels, and especially this video. But thanks again, Carrie, for the participation and sending stuff that we can share. And I look forward to bringing that book up on Show and Tell. I'm getting there. Show and Tell takes a little bit more time, and my folder's full now, so I got to go through and I got to parse out and pick out what I want. And if you send something in and I use it, I'll let you know what video it's in. I'm usually a little farther out with videos. If you send something, it might be a little while before it gets in a video because I got everything planned out and stuff like that. And we'll talk about that in viewer comments today. Back to Coney Island. Do these things sell? Well, there's 2 ways I look at it. I want to know how many cards are moving through the eBay system, and I want to know what kind of prices should I put on these. I use this little chart here. It goes from low to very high. I work in the middle, high and average, the 4 and 10% sell-through rate. But when I do the sell-through rate, I want to just have it fall in one of these ranges. And it's a probability that they're going to sell over better than the other ones. But it's just a snapshot in time. It just gives me a little bit more data to help my decisions on what's working and not working and stuff. If I get red ones, I really don't want them, but I end up with them. Sometimes those will sell better than the average ones. It tightens it up a little bit to give you something more than just what your memory is. But it's amazing when I went out to Coney Island. It's what I think and what's actually happening is not what's happening, the way I feel. But how I calculate it, I just do sold divided by listed times 100 gives me a percent, and I round up and down. So I went out to eBay and I just put in postcard Coney Island. I hit click sold, it clicks completed. And I look at the top, it's a 90-day snapshot. It says 378 sold. You'd think there'd be more. And then I unclick the sold and I get a number at the top of the page that says 3,600 listed. You'd think there would be more. This thing's been around forever. I did it a couple times. I times it by 100 and I get 11%. If you look at the chart, that's in the very high, top of the high, very high. So it's a high card to me, is what I figured. It's better than average, but they don't move like that for me. I got some Coney Islands, and I thought, it would go better. Maybe they are. So what you feel sometimes and what's really happening, what the data tells you, can be different. So you got to use your common sense sometimes. So I went out there and I bumped it up against 3 other things. So we got Coney Island 11%. Ocean City is another amusement place, I guess, out there. That was 7%. Navy Pier, which is Chicago's tourist attraction, it's like an amusement with the Ferris wheel and stuff on the north side of Chicago along the lakefront, 6%. And then Rehoboth Beach, 6%. So 11% is a little bit of an outlier, but only 4% difference. I would say it's between 8 and 10%. It's a high card. Sell-through rate done. So I know it's a high card. I'm going to pick them up. They tend to move from the data I see here, but why is there only 3,600 listed? Are they selling? You got to use your common sense. So I say it's a high card. It's above average, but it's just a high card. It's not something that's going to knock it all the way out of the park. But then you get into pricing. Now I'm going to do high to low on this one. I didn't find a lot of very extreme ones, so I'm just going to take these 8 cards I found and start with the top, the highest watermark, and go down to the low part of the watermark. And you'll see a good mix of prices here. The first one is a real photo paper moon. Do not pass these up. If they're originals, real photos, any studio prop does well. But the paper moon, just go out there and say postcard paper moon in eBay and just look at the solds. I've done very well with these, stuff like that. So don't pass up the studio props. And you got to price them right and make sure they're originals, and they'll be good. But the paper moon Coney Island, I've sold Coney Island paper moons before, sold for $158.50. Had 4 bids. Tend to put these in auction, but lately I've been putting, when I get them out, I'll just put them, buy it now, $80, $90, and get my money and pay 50 cents for them or whatever. So $58 paper moon is something you want to look for. Another real photo, since this is older, this place is older, Coney Island, you're going to get a lot of real photos probably. So real photo patriotic snack shop featuring Coney Island hot dogs. Is that Nathan's that we talked about? Pepsi and Coca-Cola signs. So I think that's not a bad title. It tells a story, and that's what I look for. It's got a patriotic snack shop, not for sure why they say patriotic, featuring Coney Island hot dogs with a Pepsi and Coca-Cola sign. That's a story that would intrigue me. So that's what I'm trying to tend to do to titles, is what is the story, where and when? And that's what this tells me. So I would click on this. $44.56 they got for that. And that was an auction, so 5 bids. People were going at it on that one. And then a Coney Island, New York sideshow freak, the Spider Boy. These can go, the sky's the limit on some of these sideshow freak type cards from the history. I don't, politically correctness or whatever, I don't want to get into that, but this is history of what they did in the past, and these cards are out there. Spider Boy, that'd be interesting. William Henry Butson 1926 card, rare, $39.95. You'd think it would go a little higher, but I've seen some real photo of circus entertainers and sideshow stuff that are just incredible prices. So if you get one of those, make sure you do your homework. And next one is El Dorado Carousel Steeplechase, the Funny Place, Coney Island, New York. Took best offer, $19.91, so it's a carousel. I did a video on carousels for postcards. I maybe took $15. Then you got the bathing beach. Fun on the beach, Coney Island, New York, swimming bathers. $18, $19. Free shipping on that one. That's not a bad price for that card. I see a lot of those cards go a lot less. Then you got the Cyclone roller coaster, Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. $15. You'd think that would do more. But that's usually where I see them, 10 to 15, 8 to 15, 8 to 12. Yeah, I just thought they would do more. But I guess there's so many out there, or people don't remember it or around anymore. I'm not for sure. Next one is Coney Island, New York, amusement park, ponies, old undivided back. So there's some ponies here, and they got best offer, probably $7, $7, $8 for that. The other thing, I think the keyword is Coney Island. And then here's the Ferris wheel. Amusement park, Wonder Wheel they call it, Coney Island, New York, $7, and that was a buy it now for $7. So we're looking at a spread from $158 for real photos down to $7 for common divided backs. So you want to go out and check what's out there. I would really check what's sold and what is listed and how many of that's sold in there, and then look at your completed, which ones are rolling around. Coney Island's kind of weird to me. I just can't put my finger on it, but I think they should do more, and they just don't sometimes. What do you think? Have you done well with Coney Island, Luna Park, and stuff like that? It's just one of those things in my head. When I see Coney Island, I don't really jump up and down that much, unless it's a paper moon. I know I'm going to sell it for above average price a little bit, but they sit and stuff. But that's Coney Island. Who knew? Now we're going to get into a poll. This is a poll I put out on Saturdays. Go on about 9 to 10. You can just hit yes or no or whatever. If you want to leave a comment, it does put your comment in there, and that's open season to put it on the videos because everybody sees it. If you send a comment and email about it or whatever, I keep it a little bit private. But this one was, are you an eBay top rated seller? Now a lot of people get confused. There's top rated seller and top rated plus. The key to this is top rated seller means you, me. The seller is top rated. Your items get the top rated plus, and we'll talk about that in a second. So are you a eBay top rated seller? 87% said yes, 11% said no, 2% were other. Now before eBay standard envelope, this would be totally opposite, because we were sending postcards out with a label and a stamp, no tracking, so you can never meet one of the metrics of 95% or above on tracking uploaded on time. With eBay standard envelope, I think every postcard seller out there that meets the other requirements are above standard now. And I'll talk about what that means here in a second. But I took every comment basically from this poll that people commented here, and you'll go through and see what they have to say. So Monty Davis said, some months yes, some no. eBay hates when I use stamps to mail items. Yes, I have that problem as well. I got some ship photos that I put in the military category on eBay, not the photo category, and we'll talk about that in the viewer comments about photographs being part of eBay standard envelope. When I mail those out, I do it with a stamp and a label. Well, I sell a lot of those. It brings that metric down. Once in a while, I'll get caught and they'll say, hey, we're going to give you a grace period, 30 days, you need to get this up or whatever. But it looks like he jumps up and down with that as well. But if you can send it with eBay standard envelope, it meets the tracking requirements. Thanks, Monty. The mailbox memories, Ashley. I will be up on next evaluation in late August after just starting to sell again actively in January and not making time to list that much or as often as I'd like. I am happy to have the number of transactions and dollars as well as other metrics that are needed for that rating. I am excited. Congratulations, Ashley. Let us know if you made it. Then Philip Beardbeck, not currently. I use stamps a lot. Prefer charging those orders between $20 and $35 shipping of $125 instead of $450. So he has a way of doing his business. He figures it helps him, and he's going to not do the top rated. So that's a decision you got to make. Me, my breaking point when eBay standard envelope came out, anything over $20 goes ground advantage. Shipping is shipping to me. They're going to pay it. That they pay what I pay, and I do get a discount. I don't pass it on. It's part of the whole deal. If they're going to buy above $20 card, it's going to go in a box. It's not eBay standard envelope. I don't get the insurance and stuff like that. There's so many out there. Everybody pretty well does it. Some do free shipping with them, but Phil does it his way, and this is what he likes, and he'll take a hit at top rated seller. I commend him for that. That's how he runs his business. He's got a plan. There's really no right or wrong way. It's what works. If he's selling good cards and he's not getting a lot of returns, why not? And he builds the $4 or the price into the thing, he's got a model. And that's what everybody needs to do. There's really no right or wrong. No matter if anybody stands up, say they shouldn't do this or say this or whatever, it's how you run your business. And if you're successful, keep doing it. But if you're getting a lot of returns and you're losing money or stuff like that, you might want to take a look at it. But otherwise, with working, leave it alone. You always want to keep increasing, doing something different, and trying to keep increase. If you want to be at the top, you're not going to go from here to here. You can't jump over. You got these other steps that you got to do first. That way, when you get to the top, all this stuff down here is solid. If you try to jump all the way up here right away, you're going to fall back down, and you have nothing to fall back on. Where if you build each step, you're only going to fall a step and go back up. That's how I see life, and that's how I see business. And Phil's got it figured out for what he does. Thanks, Phil. Then Flippin' Rhino. Well, this is where we talk about the eBay standard envelope. She says, I am now top rated, but I hate that they say I will get above standard next month because of late mailings. I sell photos as well and send international cards and photos with stamp and an envelope. I wish eBay would include photos in the eBay standard envelope. Hold on. Rebel comes back. Now you can reply to other people's comments as long as they keep it civil in YouTube. So Rebel Depot came out and said, if you are listing in the category collectibles, photographic images, photographs, it is included in standard envelope now. They added some categories during one of their last updates without announcing anything. I've sent numerous photos out by eBay standard envelope in the past few months. So right there's a nugget from Rebel. Just make sure you got your photographs and stuff in that category font. Now my ship photos I found do better in the military category, so I don't have this option of eBay standard envelope in that category yet. But I did notice I sent out a photo or something one time, eBay standard envelope did pop up, so what Rebel's saying I saw. That's how this channel can help each other. Now, everybody can't catch everything, and like he said, they didn't announce it. They just do it, and that's what I've seen before with eBay standard envelope. How do they know what works for eBay standard envelope? It does it by categories: trade cards, sports cards, postcards, and that category there. That's how it knows that you can use it or not if it's not grayed out. But thanks guys for bringing that to light on there. Then that dude says, I am in one store, but my other store keeps going up and down. So he's probably not selling enough or tracking or something like that. It's bouncing. And one day you'll get over that and you'll just stay up there. And you'll see the metrics here in a second what it takes. Now, what is the requirements to be top rated? To become a top rated seller, this comes right from eBay help pages. You need to be an active seller who's performing well above our minimum standards. Now, if you say that, well above, I hate those gray areas. What does that mean? What is well above our minimum standards? As well as having an established sales history and complying with other eBay policies. We'll automatically upgrade you to top rated status on the first of the following month if you meet all of the criteria below at your selling performance evaluation. I get evaluated every month in my postcard store on the 20th is when I see it. So top seller requirements. Remember, this is right from eBay. It's not me paraphrasing. This is what's in there as of when I did this video. Seller performance evaluation. You got to have cases closed without seller resolution, no more than 2 or 0.3% of transactions. So you can't have more than 2 or 3%, 0.3% of your transactions. If you sell a lot of stuff, you get a good, nice, more of a comfort zone on there. Transaction defect rate, no more than 0.5% associated with no more than 3 different buyers. So defects are stuff you're out of stock and you had to cancel an order. You don't want those. You have room if you have one. It's going to happen. You're going to have a card you sold and you can't find it and stuff like that. But you don't want to have a lot of those because they're going to ding you. Then late shipping rate, no more than 5 or 3% of transactions. This is the one that gets me. Uploading tracking, at least 95% of transactions have tracking uploaded with handling time and validated by carrier. eBay standard envelope meets that requirement when you send it out. Sometimes the web page isn't updated. It kind of trues itself up throughout the month. So when I do my analysis every month, I always wait until like the 15th or the 20th or 25th to start doing that to make sure everything trues up the data that came in and what that does. If it's showing off, just give it a little bit of time. Sometimes it'll retrue itself up on there. Remember, there's databases behind the scenes that go to reports, and there's databases and web pages that sync up from that data. So there's different programming, different way to pull data. So what's being pulled to the reports might have been done, but then the web team's got to go and get that information. That's how we used to do in business. I have my web team doing some stuff, and then my other programming team doing some stuff. And they might be a little bit ahead on the time because we can't test and roll out everything sometimes. They're not available or it just doesn't work out. So sometimes it might be a little off. It's just the way it works, and there's a lot of moving parts and updates and stuff. But that's the performance evaluation. Then you got the activity. Your eBay account has to be active for more than 90 days. So don't expect to be top rated seller right away. It's 3 months at least. Next thing is you have to have at least 100 transactions and 1,000 in sales with U.S. buyers over the past 12 months. It's a rolling. You got to keep having $1,000 in sale and 100 transactions. Some people don't sell enough to become that. And you're complying with eBay's seller practices policies. So that's top rated seller. I think it doesn't really mean that much. It might help in search. I sold postcards when I was above standard before eBay standard envelope for years. I still sell them as a top rated. But this is a goal that every new person selling on eBay, if they want to make it more than just a little hobby, should shoot in the first year to get top rated status. Now, it's not going to take you from 5 cards selling a day to 50 cards selling a day. It's just something, another piece of the puzzle to have to round out your whole eBay experience and listings and stuff. I would say on there, years ago they had power seller badges and all that stuff. I was one of those. I didn't even know what it meant. Power seller. I remember interviewing a guy who came in one time for a job, and I looked at his resume and I said, you don't meet the requirements that were minimum requirements. He goes, well, I was a power seller on eBay. Well, I didn't do eBay back then. And I'm sitting there, okay, what does that mean? He couldn't really explain it. He sold cell phone covers, I think, if I remember right, something like that. And I was just, you know what you're applying for. And I gave him some tips, and I never just said, no, we're not going to hire you. And I didn't drag him on. I just told him, I said, this isn't the right job for you. You don't have the skills or meet the minimum requirements, but I appreciate you coming in. And so let's talk about the interviewing, what I would look for and stuff like that. And if I had a spot for the guy and it was a lower level entry, I probably would have hired him, but I didn't have that opportunity. So I sent him over to another department, and he ended up working in customer service area in the company. I lost track of him, but I did get him into the company because he was just a go-getter. I didn't do it because of power seller. Just after talking to him, he articulated correctly. He had goals. He just wanted a steady income, and that's what there. So I sent him. We're a big company I work for, so I was able to get him into an entry level. I don't know if he stayed with the company or whatever. I lost track of him. You tend to do that in the bigger companies. But top rated seller is top rated. Top rated plus is for your item. And it's got to meet certain specifications to be a top-rated plus. So once you've reached the top-rated status as a seller, you can qualify your listings for these exclusive top-rated plus benefits if you offer same or one-day business day handling, so one-day shipping, and 30-day or longer free returns. Now this comes right from eBay. The top-rated plus seal will be displayed prominently in search results and in the listing description. A 10% discount on your final value fees, not on your whole sale, just your final value fees, which is calculated on the total amount of the sale, including shipping and tax. And there's some other probably details that you want to look at that I'm not going to get into here that you want to get into, but remember, top-rated sellers for you, top-rated plus is for your listings when you reach top-rated. So that's another, it gives you a little 10% on your final value fee. It'll add up over the year. It's not going to be where you can retire off of it. But I remember years ago it used to be better than this. But it's something to be as a top rated, I think, to shoot for is a good goal to shoot for. Now, if you're not top rated and you're above standard, you're still going to sell. So don't think it's going to stop. If you got good cards, good prices, and shipping time, and back all your stuff up, and have good titles, good scans, and you're a person that can work with people, you're going to sell stuff. So this is just another piece of the puzzle. That's the poll. Now I pulled 5 viewer comments because a couple of them are real quick, and I just went through and caught up in all my comments on here. But these come from YouTube, email. I don't do eBay. If you leave a message there, you probably won't get a response. I don't want to get in trouble. And this is more ad-lib. I've already replied to some of these people or hearted them. And if you see a heart and a like in YouTube, I've acknowledged it and stuff like that. And I just let other people reply, or I appreciate everybody participating in the comments, the polls. It's been super over the years. And I learned so much, and so does everybody else. But the first viewer comment is from Bernard. How do you like the Epson versus the Fujitsu? So did a video we talked about, maybe a short or something about the Epson and the Fujitsu scan tabs. Epson has 2 scanners that I recommend, the 402 or the 580W, the newest one. Then also I had a Fujitsu scan snap for years. IX 1500, I think. I went to the Epson because that was more prevalent in Postcard. I wanted to see what it was. I was always a Fujitsu guy. And once I got into the Epson, I like the software. I like how it works. I like how it puts a border. And when the 580W came out, it brought it with the LCD screen and stuff like that the Fujitsu ScanSnap had. That's what I really liked about it. I could control it from the front of the scanner. Once that came out, I just went to Epson. to standardize. I still have my scan snap as my backup, and I put new rollers in it. It's how much I used it on there. So they both do the same thing. The quality of the scans and everything look fine. The Epson, I just think it's more stable, I guess. But then that's a more expensive as a Fujitsu. So I think the cost was another reason why. But when you're scanning at 400 DPI, it doesn't really matter that much. It's the software and stuff. I think Epson software is more simple, where in the ScanSnap you can do different things with teams, different colors on your screen. So I had things set up, I could just press a button and stuff like that. More customizable than the Epson. But you can get around it. So I prefer and recommend the Epson 580W is the best one. But people on a budget or just do not a heavy client, don't want to have the next best thing out there. The 400 ES 402s are coming down in price since the 580's out, and you can get them cheap on eBay and different places refurbished. Those are workhorses. I have a 400 and I have a 580W, and I use the 580W. The 580W is wireless. The 400 Epson 400 duplex scanner is not. It's USB. So that's what the W is on the 580s. Hope that answers your question. Thanks, Bernard. Then postcard guy Kevin. Check out his channel here. He just got another box of postcards, and he gets these real photo postcards in a box, and he goes through them. If you guys are in that type of thing, and Kevin has a lot of knowledge about postcards, been doing for a long time, ephemera and history like that. And when the show and tell, I'll show you what he sent me for my little vending machine there that I got. Just pulled it out, pulled it off. So Kevin, that'll be on the show and tell. I'll let you know when it comes out. But this is talking about Burstone postcards. Kevin came out and gave us another nugget. Nuggets are things from other sellers that can help you. Great video, Mark. I came across Burstone cards often. So he sees them a lot. I see them in lots. Those and Zodiac card signs were very popular card topics back then. Zodiac. So that's what he's saying. They're popular, so don't pass these up if they look older and stuff. They're usually in the early 1900s around there. Zodiac signs. I try to buy tarot cards. Tarot, whatever. Those tell you about the death card, the birth card, or whatever. I always try to get those, but they always go so high. But those are sell well too. So check out Zodiac cards. Thanks, Kevin, as always. Next one just came from email, and I didn't put the names on. Are you going to continue to sell postcards the rest of your life, or one day just stop selling? I'm 68 and in good health, but at what point would you stop? I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going, doing things, and keep busy as long as I'm healthy and can do it. It's when people stop and don't have something to do or grow, that's when things can happen. So if you're 68 in good health and you're doing it and you're happy and you got the energy to do it and find some other things. You only get one round in life to do things. So I do as much as possible every day. And there are some days I'll take a nap and stuff like that, but I like to learn things and I like to keep busy and stuff. So I don't think that age is just a number. It's how, like the doctors always told me, let your body tell you what you need to do. Do what your body tells you. If it tells you you're tired, you're tired. It's just the way it is. And I've taken that all these years and stuff with that. Yeah, I'm 60 years old. I didn't have no midlife crisis. I just keep moving. My father-in-law is 85, 86. And he still sells and runs around, does stuff every day and stuff like that. So you got to keep busy is what he said. You got to do stuff. And he lifts more stuff than I want to lift. So thanks. Another thing that I pulled out, it was like the day people are asking me about retirement and stuff like that. How do full-time resellers deal with health insurance? Tough question. What do you do? I want to go full-time, but the cost of insurance is too much. There's some things in life, in the United States, you can't change it. Don't wait till tomorrow. It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened in my lifetime. Health insurance. I've worked for mostly major corporations or companies in most of my jobs, so we always had a good health insurance plan. But there's been times when I've been self-employed, had my own restaurant and different things, or worked with smaller companies that didn't offer and I had to pay for it. And it was expensive with 2 kids and a wife. And it was more of a major medical than anything. But it can be. And what do I do? So I've been retired 5 years, basically, a little over 5 years, from a the largest utility in the nation. And when I went to retire, so I was out on my own at 17 and I retired at 55. A day after my birthday, I retired because you can't retire on a Sunday. So I retired at 55. Going up to that time, all of us in the company come up together. I was there over 22 years. So I knew a lot of the people. They went above me or below me. I was pretty well up there in management. We all seen the writing on the wall. The new generation's coming in. Things got moved around. IT world changes. People don't leave companies because of bad companies. They leave because of bad management. And things were happening. And we were just getting in the way, we thought. But we had to stick it out. When you are with a company and you get in what I have as a pension plan, and you got money already there, and if you leave early, you lose that or get a small part of that. We all knew about 4 to 5 years out that we saw things happening. We would talk, a lot of friends and stuff, and we just put our heads down and just kept moving and just kind of tried to get ourselves in a position to ride this out. Now, if they came to me and I had 5 years to go and said, hey, you got to move to California and this is what you're going to do, or you're going to go over and do this job for the next 4 years and stuff like that, would I do it? Heck yeah. I had a lot of money on the table. There was no way I was going to walk away from having the rest of my life, having a pension, and all this stuff. If anybody's done that, there's more to it than decisions like that. I would never do that. I would always stick it out. When you get to a certain point in a company like that, you got to keep up with the BS that's going through and just put your head down and be quiet and do your job and make it through. Everybody does that. So when we got to the point where we were looking at retirement, a lot of us were looking at it. Insurance was like $1,500–$1,600 a month. Well, with our retirement pension, there's not enough meat on the bone to do that and live because we don't get the full salary. And so we started talking, and we finally got a hold of a guy, and he said, this is what most people do. So I was able to get benefits with the company. I have a health savings account, which comes off your taxes, whatever you pay on there, through my local bank. And I have a higher deductible for my medical, vision, and dental and drug plan as a higher deductible. So we do have to pay a little bit more out of pocket, and we saved that on the health insurance savings account. And I was able to get that way down. It's ridiculous. Me and my wife pay every month the minimum amount compared to what it would have been. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to retire. Any of us wouldn't have been able to retire because it was just too much in insurance. You're talking $15,000 to $20,000 a year just insurance. And to stay with that company, I could probably go on the marketplace and find a lot cheaper, but we didn't do that. We found that. So I have it through my retirement program with the company I work for. So we're grateful of what we got, and we're both retired. Is it the same income we had before? No. No, we still got to watch what we do. And we've always lived pretty modest, but we like being retired, but we had to find something to do. But health insurance is a big one. If you're going to go full time and put all this on there, I would have some backup money and have a good plan figured out. There's plans out there that you can get there, higher major medical plans and stuff like that, but I would not go without insurance. One operation, this is just my opinion, one operation can take you out. I mean, you never know when things are going to happen. So I hope that helps people. If you got any questions about that on there, let me know. But then the last one, I have a new thing coming out bi-weekly, if you haven't watched the channel in a while, is every other Wednesday I'm doing Widget Wednesday. It's like a tool or a subject, a small 10, 15, 20 minute video on different things. I did scanners, social media linking, and eBay, and you'll see it out there. But a lot of people have asking things and stuff, so I've been taking that. But if you have something that you would like me to do it on, so I can learn too, if it's something I've never done, just let me know. I'll see if I can do it. But it's a short video, so you can always go back and see them, refreshes and stuff. I did it on thermal printers, I did it on scanners. Even though I got in other videos, I just refreshed it. But this comment, I enjoy your Widget Wednesday videos. Quick and fun to watch. Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff. It starts, stops. I don't even put the fish in there, I don't think. I will send you some possible subjects to consider. Great. If anybody's got any ideas for me to load up my stuff, let me know. But I figured bi-weekly, I'm doing Mondays a full video, daily shorts from those full videos just to let you see stuff. And in those shorts, down at the bottom will tell you the video it's in. Most of the time you can click on it and save it and watch it later. But some of the shorts are good. I just pull out what I can out of these videos, and I just schedule them out to go every day. And then Mondays I put out that long video, and then Widget Wednesdays I put one out. Then I do some weird ones here once in a while, some odd ones. Thanks for all the information and time you spent putting them together. Couldn't even think about how you put all these together weekly. I keep it organized. I'm pretty diligent now about what I'm looking for and stuff. Sometimes I get thrown a wrench and I got to put that video off because I can't find information on it, or it's very gray area and stuff, and I'll have to ask a friend about this postcard, what does he think and stuff. But most of the time they're laid out ahead of time, and I just got to add a few things and change it up as I do the videos. It's work, but it's fun work. Let me put it that way. Thanks, Brad from Omaha. Omaha. Way out west. That's all I got. Coney Island. Anybody's got more information about Coney Island? Your experiences? Did you go there? What's it doing today? Are they really trying to reinvigorate that area and stuff? And how does it tie into Luna Park and all those different things? I love hearing stories. You can send it in an email to contact@SMPostcard.com and I can share it. Or you can put it in comments in there. I like hearing stories, just like titles. It's got to tell a story. So think about telling a story instead of just keyword stuffing, is what I'm starting to look into. Most of the stuff on a postcard is going to have what they used to market it back then. So I start there, and I want to tell where and when, maybe how, and stuff. So tell a story with your title. Not a book, but keyword stuffing. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Here's some of the fish I got. Bye.